Hi all, and welcome back to my stream. How was everybody's holiday weekend? We went camping. It was hot. Today we're going to be building Harry Potter and Cho Chang in the Brickheadz. These ones, the last set was about 250. This is almost 270. Not a terrible difference in block count. There's one more set after this. It's similar to this set with the Quidditch gear, except it's Draco Malfoy and Cedric Diggory. We'll also be doing some sorting today. Leave that there to put the garbage in. So they're only like a big bag and a mini bag for each set of these. We're gonna, it looks like Harry's first. I like these little Brickheadz. They're fairly quick and easy builds, but they're fun. And they're great to put on, like, I put them on my bookshelves to complement my books. So if you did anything fun this past weekend for the holiday weekend, let me know what you did. Sorry, my ear keeps itching underneath my headphones. Yes, so we went camping, and unfortunately, the AC in our camper, I think it really just, or my husband said, it just probably needs to be recharged. But in any case, it was quite warm, which wasn't fantastic, um, but other than that, it was fun. We went out in the boat, rode around a little bit. The kids played in the swim cove. Did anybody pick up any of the Legos that came out on Friday? I wanted to, but finances being what they are, I have to wait a little bit. I need, did I do that wrong? I did. That's alright. Easy fix. I was gonna say something, and now I brain farted. Hi, Kaz. Let me. I'm always. Where did I spell it wrong? did. Okay. Oh, that's why too. It put a space, so it didn't want to let me type. But yes, so that's what we did. I got a little bit of sunburn. I put sunscreen on, but apparently not enough, or I needed to reapply at some point and didn't. You got Harry's Quidditch shirt, or part of it rather. Okay. But it was a good, fun weekend. Not as fun as some as we had, but that's life. Oh, these are brown. Building up the bottom half of Harry. Okay. Basically, like waist down. And apparently, while we were gone, the flies thought that meant we were giving the house to them, because now they're everywhere. Okay. This one down. This one forward. Those were Harry's little arms. Has anybody else started to put their spooky stuff up for the spooky season? Set that down. It's probably like the only holiday I decorate inside the house for. And then I'm not sure if it's really decorating for the season, because I pretty much just don't take them down. There we go. But I do put blow ups. I have a bunch of blow ups to put up outside. And I put other blow ups up for other holidays. Grab another one. I'll pick that one up in a minute. I think that's eventually going to help hold Harry's glasses. because then we put another one in there like that. Hopefully something eventually holds this other piece in better. Okay, now we're building up his head some. Okay, that's where we're at with Harry so far. But look, they have his little, they have his little lightning bolt. Okay, now I will have to find that one I dropped. I felt it hit my leg, but Lord knows where it went. Found it. Okay, I found it. Luckily, it didn't go too far. Sorry, making my computer jiggle everywhere. I also plan to work on having like the stream elements or whatever added to my page this week, hopefully. Okay. Turn this back around. Now Harry has a face. Okay. I think this is how I'm gonna do it. On Tuesdays will be build something small and sort for a little bit, and then Thursday/Friday, depending on which day I do it, because life, adulting and whatnot, will be either like a mid-sized project or like half of a bigger project. And then Sunday will be either another mid-sized project or the finishing of a bigger project. Like this week, it will be Friday, and Sunday will be building the Range Rover. And then next Tuesday will be this other set like this and some sorting. I am only 7 away from making affiliate, which is exciting. And it's also September. I'm probably saying that wrong, for Twitch, where the subscriptions are discounted 25%. Oh, this is like his little hood of his cape. It's gonna go on the back here like this. Yeah, that's like the little hood of his cape. Okay. Oop, wrong piece. Okay, working on the back of Harry's head. There's the back. And that was the other side. Now we're working on this side. We had watered our garden real good before we left. That way it should be, in theory, good for a couple days. And it was. But something started digging in our garden beds. It hates some of the lettuce that was like just barely growing. And then it had dug in a few different spots of the different raised garden beds. So that's concerning. I can't tell if it's just like a squirrel or like, I doubt a rabbit could get up there because they're pretty good off the ground. But what's funny is that our little watermelon bucket thing is like directly on the ground. And it didn't go after that. So makes me wonder. Oh, now we're gonna make Harry's Harry's broom. Here we go. Now Harry has a little broom. Okay, now we're working on his head. Oh, now we're gonna flip him upside down and add like extra little legs. Flip him back around. Oh, now we're gonna put his glasses on. It's kind of cool how they did his glasses. So you put him in the little thing and then flip him over, and it looks like he's got glasses on. And we have a little snitch. A golden snitch for Harry to hold. Oh, I put it in there backwards. There we go. Look at that. Harry, he's got his broom and his golden snitch for his Quidditch. Now the final pieces where he'll stand on or rest on. Ta-da! Like I said, they're pretty quick builds, but I like them. I have quite a few of them. And then this is Cho Chang's. And these instructions don't have the little barcodes, so you can't use them to add points to your Lego account. But that's alright, I still like them. These are the first Quidditch ones I've done. I know they have several others, but these are the first Quidditch ones I've done. And I like their little, how it looks like they're wearing the robe and have their little Quidditch gear on. I think it looks cool. Well executed. That was weird. There'll be one of these for each house, each Hogwarts house. One Quidditch player for each house. So I think in the end it's gonna look pretty good. There's the piece I'm looking for. If you don't follow Kaz, please go follow her. She lurks because she's got to be muted and no headphones at work. But she's a great fellow streamer. So if you haven't liked her already, go check her out. Oh, there you are. Ah, there it is. Now here's Cho's. Ravenclaw. part of her get up, her uniform. Now working on her arms. Oh. Hi, Dossley. Thanks for your first time chat. Yes, Legos. Hi, Steel. Yes, I build lots of Legos. And now I forgot where I'm looking. A little bit of all kinds of Legos, really. Um, I have a lot of Harry Potter Legos, but I also the the big modular buildings and the bigger cars, not the Speed Champion cars, but like the bigger ones. And then really everything. I love the Legos. Hi, Mr. Harold. Thank you. It's going well. Uh, this is the one I already did Harry. And these are the little Quidditch Brickheadz. And then I will be sorting some on my stream too. Sorting and chatting. How was everybody's weekend? Did you do anything exciting or fun? We wound up Saturday night. The wind picked up like after dinner, so it was like I don't know 6:30. The wind picked up real good coming off the lake, like it was gonna start pouring any minute. So we ran around to like pull the canopy down and pack up all the chairs so they wouldn't get drenched or blown away. And then nothing happened. But then we wound up coming home a little early because they were supposed to have rain like during the time we would normally be packing up to come home, and we've packed up enough in the rain to know that's not something we want to do again. So instead of coming home Monday, we came home Sunday. And then even that rain that was supposed to happen on Monday got pushed way back in the day. This month is kind of busy for us. Our anniversary, well, you know, the holiday weekend just passed, and then our anniversary, and then our son's birthday's the week after. But that's, I guess fun busy. Busy fun. But yeah, it almost always rains when we go camping. It's like it can't be an official camping trip unless it's rained. And we always get the campsite right near where where people can launch their boats into the lake, and it never fails. You watch like people like waste time. You're supposed to have your boat ready to basically just back up and drive off. Yes, Mr. Harrell, I'm 7 away from affiliate right now, so fingers crossed uh, that I make it. Only 7 away. Um, but yeah, so we always can see people. Steel, congrats! I'm so excited for you. That's fantastic. I'm so glad you made it. What was I saying? Oh, we always get the camping site that looks at the boat ramp, essentially. It's like just up the hill from it. And you always see people do the weirdest things. Like, instead, instead of just admitting you don't know how to back the boat in, they do all kinds of stuff. Oh, thank you for the thank you. Yep, it'll be 15 years. It's a long time. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it's like, wow, it really has been that long. Let's see, half circle. Yeah, I think that's what's really like the hardest part of it is keeping that average viewership up. Because you could have a crazy amount of followers, but if you can't get people on at the same time, then it's hard to keep that viewership up. Well, that's good because you only need to be at three. So even if you go down a little bit before the 30-day rollover, you should still be good. Yeah, I know. It's me. I'm some moms. I cuss too much. I have my friend got me a cup that says I'm an F bomb mom. And it's true because I accidentally wore a shirt that said F off to the bus stop. Where we lived in Virginia, it was like the first day of taking the kids to the bus stop. And I wore a shirt that said F off. I'm reading. Come back when I'm done and need a hug. I love the shirt. I love it a lot. I, however, had forgot that I had it on when I took the kids to the bus stop. I don't think all the moms there quite appreciated it as much as I did. I cuss all the time. I don't have to. I used to, when I first had kids, I kind of worried about it. And then I was like, nope, I'm not going to. I have too many things to worry about. I'm not going to let the amount of times I cuss in a day be one of those things. And now they're like teenagers, so I don't really have to worry about it at all. Nope, this is going to be her little hood for the back. That's her little cloak hood thing. Okay, have fun. I did all my emails this morning, so I know how that goes. I lurk in other people's while I do my emails too. Okay, then this is her hair there on the back. My daughter went. Oh. I think it's funny you have to equate Like, what else is on the shirt into that? I have all kinds of shirts that say, because I read a lot. So they're usually like book affiliated in some way. Like my favorite, I need to find or get a shirt with it on it. It says, "But when I think about you, I touch my shelf," and it has a shelf with books on it. I think it's hilarious. I'm not sure, again, that everybody else would think it was hilarious, but I love it. Every time I see one, I'm like, man, I gotta remember to order a shirt like that. But there's lots of memes that say that and other stuff. And some people, I think, are easily offended by everything. Okay, and there's Cho's broom. Okay, now we're working on her hair. Right? We call them punnies in our house. They're funny puns. But yeah, I like plays on words, puns, whatever you want to call them. I like stuff like that. And there's Cho Chang. So here's both of them. Uh, my kids keep it going too. He'll be 13 in like, I guess, really 10 days. And a 14-year-old, and they will just keep those puns going and going and going. Finally, you got to be like, stop, enough, enough. Sure, Mr. Harrell. Like I said, I'm still getting used to streaming, and right now I stream on my laptop, so I have to have my camera tipped a little bit to get more my field of vision than me. But yes, I'm receptive to all kinds of tips. Let me put these books away so I don't lose them. And then get my sorter thing. And I keep my phone kind of off to the side so that I can see the chat better, because with the screen angled, sometimes it's hard to read what people type. So I put it off to my side here. Oh. We are in the process of upgrading an old computer we had. You know, save the outside, change the guts to be for me to stream on eventually. So let me tip it up now that I'm done building. I'm just chatting with everybody and sorting these. But yeah, so that is slow going because we're still, like, apparently the fact that my husband went to like 17-year retiring from the military classes, there were still things they didn't tell us. So we're still figuring stuff out. I had to do this. I've still been working it down. Yes. I actually have uh almost like a giant mouse pad. It's on my Amazon list to buy. But I was like, what color should I get? Should I get white so everything will reflect off? I feel like no matter what color I get, there will be like some that blend into it anyway, but yes. Yes, and I did help some with the light glare by angling the blinds on the window where I sit. That helped some, not a ton. but it did help a little bit. But yes, I have one of those big mouse pad things. But like I said, I was unsure what color to get. Uh, like, because I feel like at any, no matter what kind, obviously not a dark color, but I feel like any color at some point, some would blend in. But I was thinking like light teal. That goes to something because it's built. I have all these little bags that I would just swipe the Yes, I saw yours, and I think I have something similar, but I don't think the one I have is big enough. I think my blocks would still wind up like tinkling off the edge. But yes, I saw yours and I thought about that. And I did go before, I didn't used to use headphones, and there was a lot of like, you could hear like the fan a lot on my streams that was real loud. So that has helped too, going to headphones and cutting down on that noise. Right. Yeah. Like I said, I have one on my list, and we are still waiting for the military to get its crap together and pay us the last little bit of what they owe us, which really isn't that little. But um, so we've been being very careful with what we spend this way while we're waiting. We right. I feel like I have taken like ideas, but again, waiting financially is some of that, and uh, my husband was at a conference all last week, which meant no working on the computer during that time because he does that. I don't. He's building it from the ground up, but he was at a conference the entire last week, so he couldn't work on the computer then either, like cleaning it up. That way it's ready when pieces come in. But yes, I feel like it's not really stealing unless it's like something signature to them, but like using a pad, the way you hang your camera, you know. Right, it's not really stealing. It's just knowing, okay, that would improve my stream and then help with viewership. Like, as long as you're not stealing their catchphrase, I feel like it's not really stealing. Oh, I guess those could all go together. But yeah, I don't consider it stealing, like I said, unless it's like their catchphrase or like, their signature t-shirt or something, then yes, maybe. Yeah, I like your text to speech, and I brought it up to my husband as if he thought that would be a good idea, and he was like, when you're smaller, yes, but when you get like a ton of viewers, that it could be bad because then it's constantly trying to talk over, which I could see that. Like if you had a ton of viewers at once, it would be bad. But when you're not having a crazy amount of viewers, I think it would be good. I like your text to speech. True. Yeah, you're borrowing on the idea, copying the idea. You're not technically stealing it. Right. Like I figured it would take a while for it to become unhelpful. But in the beginning, especially when you're not having a ton of viewers, it wouldn't hurt anything at all to have it the text to speech. Oh, I do have some of those. But yeah, I do take in how other people do their streams and have been seeing how it would work with, or like how I would do it, add it to mine. And I plan. Yes, I know. I felt like 4 days of emails was like 5 million emails later. Um, but yeah, so hopefully, because he's home this week, uh, I plan to try to get like Stream Elements or Stream Labs added or switch to that so that I can have like the where you do like the exclamation point whatever and stuff happens. Some holidays are just another day, definitely. I like when the holidays mean that you get paid not to work them. Not that I have a job outside the house, but I do like those holidays. Yeah, customer service, there's no such thing as a holiday. You don't get those days off. I mean, you don't even really get like Thanksgiving or Christmas off anymore. Everybody wants the store to be open so they can return the things they don't want, or last minute groceries, or stuff like that. But yeah, it's crazy. I love when you hear like people who work in the restaurant industry and people are like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry you have to work on Thanksgiving. I wouldn't if you weren't here, but you're here, so so someone's got to be here." I did it a long time ago, but yeah, you couldn't pay me to do it again. I mean, like I said, I like the text to speech, especially when I'm lurking. Then I can just kind of listen in. As a viewer, I like it. And sometimes it's kind of hard to keep up with when a lot of people are typing. So the text to speech helps too. Did I put those in here? I guess I do have kind of all kinds of things in there. Not those. And I guess maybe depending on what kind of customer service, but yeah, like I worked at the return desk at Walmart, and you could not pay me enough money in the world to go back to that. Yeah, like a crowded room, everybody talking at once, kind of like it starts repeating, like it barely gets done talking, and then they're on to the next comment and the next comment, so that it tries to keep up. Okay, I guess I don't have any of those in there. I thought I had the little wrenches and something, but must not have. So you can't really see it, but I bought one of these thingies is what I'm starting out. I know long term it won't be good for organizing, but for right this minute, it's okay. Oop. Missed my parts from today. Put this in with the Lego. But yeah, I definitely like the speech to text. That's, well, a long time ago, I had sorted all the Legos, and I thought, sort them by color. It'll be the best way. And I did. I had them all sorted by color in like little Tupperwares like this and bigger as needed. But then I realized you couldn't find any small pieces. You had to like dump the whole container out to find one little tiny bead or angled piece. So I thought, I'll resort them. And then I dumped them into like a big container so that the small containers would be empty. And then it never actually got sorted again. So this has become my Tuesday. I do a little like set of Brickheadz or something, and then I sort for a little bit. And chat. I figure it's probably the only way I'll actually get them sorted is if I kind of like force it into the into the stream. And I know it'll be eventually that it won't really hold the things I need anymore. But for right this minute, it's working. It'll at least get me started on sorting it. Because I have tons of tiny little bags where I just sorted what was left of that set. I just scraped it all back into a little bag and then put it away. So, sort, a bunch of those little bags out, and at least I've done something. I stare at it sometimes too, contemplating. And I'm like, should I even do that today? I mean, I know it needs to be done, but it isn't any more appetizing to do today than it was the last 30 times I looked at it. Yes, the best jobs are where you don't actually have to interact with customers. And if you go by the internet, it's like everybody is customer service is a new level of hell. You know? Like, I think it's just crazy. Everybody wants to be able to return whatever they got, no matter how long ago they got it, or even if it broke and it's their fault. Everybody just wants to have their money back or want what they want right that minute. I don't even do like Black Friday shopping anymore. I used to enjoy going out, not early or like on Thanksgiving, but like middle of the day, pick up a few things. Nothing that was like crazy. But now it's like, no, you could not pay me to go out there and interact with those people. flowers in it. Oh, right here. Duh. Yeah, it's customer service is crazy. I might steal that for a prompt. I might steal that. Now, if I could get a job in a Lego store, I might be willing to deal with people. But I'd still rather be the person in the back just assembling the Legos. No, there's that one. I know my daughter's getting to the age where she can get like her first job, and I was like, ooh man, I'm not sure I'd want to ever be back at that stage because you don't have any experience, so you can't. Like, there are very few places to work. Oh my God, Miss, it bricked your phone. Oop, this one. Stickers on it. How's how's the Hogwarts castle coming, Mr. Harrell? I think the last time I watched you was like Thursday or something. It's looking nice, and now I've had to like move it back up my list of Legos I'd like to purchase. I love how like when you're building something that big, it's not like months is an acceptable time frame. And my husband used to complain before I started streaming that I would build things too fast. He's like, you need to slow down and appreciate it. I'm like, but I do appreciate it, just at a fast pace. Just in time for Halloween. And we talk about other things during your stream too. So that affects it. Last time I saw it, it looked like it was coming along nicely. Yep, that too. Do I have one of these? I think the biggest pain about the sorting is remembering like what you put in what basket. Because half the time I think I had a basket with that in it, and then I look through them all again and I'm like, nope, not even a little bit. Ooh, I found one of my bookmarks. It's got magnet in the middle, and then you use it as a bookmark. Yeah, that's like stalking the mailman, is what I call it. Eagerly waiting. I even did that thing with USPS where you can sign up, and I guess UPS does it too. You can sign up and see when you're like what's coming in the mail that day, so you kind of know a little bit ahead of time. So then I get excited because I see it's supposed to come that day, and I'm like, okay. And then I have to impatiently wait for the mailman to actually show up. I don't understand how my husband does it. He orders things and then he doesn't like check the shipping or anything. He's like, it'll come when it comes. I'm like, no, you have to check it all the time. I need to know. I'm always impatient for what I order to come in the mail. Nope, not you. Yeah, all the clubs my daughter went crazy and joined all start, well, one started last week, but the rest start basically this week, so this should be fun. Because where we live, there's not really a great sidewalk for them to walk on coming home from the bus stop. So even though the bus stop really isn't that far from our house, I still usually go and pick them up because I don't like. They basically have to walk in the street to from one street to the next. basically where the bus stop drops them off when they have to walk between the streets. They have to walk in the street because there's no sidewalk. Um, but most of her clubs are now getting out basically when he should be getting picked up from the bus stop. So, because they're on the bus quite a while between school actually ending and them getting home. Because they're like first or last on, last off. So they're on the bus for about an hour for like the literal 5 minutes we live from the school. Which, if we have something important to do that evening, I usually just pick them up instead of letting them ride the bus home. But that is not every day, so it won't kill them to ride the bus. So, if anybody else Legos besides Mr. Harrell, how do you and Kaz? It's not my fault. Uh, do you just throw all your blocks like in a container and then you're like whatever, don't worry about them after, or does anybody try to sort them, and if you do sort them, how do you sort them? Maybe your method is better than mine. I have another bowl that I sorted things, but they were things that I didn't have a place for yet. So we just do this. I feel like I have 5 million in one of these little bags. We say that's not Gouda a lot in our house. That's no Gouda. And no, it's not a lot. Yeah, I don't really like do anything when I build it. The pieces get thrown in like a little baggie like this or something, or like just pushed back into one of these little plastic baggies and then folded over, and I keep the instructions for a while. But then I'm like, what do I do with all these little pieces? And like I said, we used to have the whole thing sorted. And that was mainly because my kids weren't that old, really. You know, like they're just old. When they were just old enough to start building these versus like the Duplo or like the big, huge blocks, they would put stuff together. They would want you to sit down and help them with the instructions step by step, which was great. But then, like 3 days later, it was all taken apart and wound up in a giant tote eventually. So now that they'd like to, are older, and they're like, man, I wish I could go back and build that. We have the instructions. You know, now, okay, well, now I gotta sort, stuff they took apart. Now it comes back to sorting it so they can even attempt to build things they have, technically, but could find the. Yes, all the kits, like, so we used to save literally everything, every single instruction. And then my husband discovered that app where you could just add it. So only certain instructions got saved, which now that they changed to the insiders is a bit disappointing because we could have had like 5 million points, it feels like. But the ones we did keep, I have scanned to get the insider points, along with all basically the new ones I've been building, scanning those. And like some of them still don't scan, like the Brickheadz and stuff. The super little or seasonal builds don't have the QR code. But yes, all the ones that we did save, I have scanned to get my points, and I probably got a couple hundred points from it. So, a couple hundred at least, anyway. And they're supposed to be. I don't know if I'm the only one having issues with it. I I've done all I could think to do, but when you go to the website, you're supposed to be able to play that treasure hunt game. So you basically like um, scan blocks you already have, and you might find a prize inside the block. Essentially, it's called a treasure hunt, and I can't seem to get it to work no matter what I do. It always tells me there's an error. You could do a couple each day, like 10 a day. Just put a little piece of paper where you stopped so you know where to start up again. Yeah, it definitely took me a bit to find them all, especially with the move, because it felt like there were some here, some there, some everywhere. Knight helmets. It is kind of cool going through them though and finding like all the different types of little Legos. I am mildly OCD too. Yeah, it's procrastination with OCD. I am a total procrastinator. I will always wait to the last minute to do things. Um, so I completely understand that, and I do have a touch of OCD. Things have to be done in just a certain way, or it drives me bananas. I like the idea of sorting them, but then I'm like also daunted by the fact that there are so many Legos that need to be sorted that it's like, oh, it's going to take me forever and a day. So then I procrastinate. So at least doing it this way uh, helps a little because content is content. And this way, otherwise, I would have done all 3 sets of those minifigures in one stream. And this kind of helps spread them out and gets me to actually attempt to sort these. It's a little beard. Like I said, I know some of these eventually I'm going to need like 2 or 3 containers or just a larger version for the type of brick, but at least this helps a little bit. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've, like I said, I want to do it, but then I look at it and I'm like, that's a 60 like quart tub or whatever. It would literally take me weeks of every day sitting down hours at a time to do it. Whereas I know I'm not getting a ton done doing it this way, only doing it for an hour or so. But at the same time, it's better than what would happen in other circumstances, which is it wouldn't get done at all because I would just look at it and freak out every time about how long it would take me. And then I'd shove the box back underneath the desk and ignore it some more. So I figure this is at least a good compromise. Will it still probably take me literally forever? Yes. But slowly but surely it will get done. And like I said, then you get to find some pieces that you're like, oh my god, that's so cool. Or you wonder, like, what set did that come from? So it's kind of neat. My husband, so when we lived in North Dakota, there was like a third party Lego store. They would buy your Legos, plus they sold new Legos in box, but then they'd resell those ones they bought. And they had the I always say it wrong, Misk, whatever, the train to that boat I think that you're talking about. And it was going for like $700 on eBay, and so he got it from them for only 400, which was great for him anyway. But yeah, those are worth a lot. It's it's kind of crazy how much Legos resell for, and a little scary because you're like, wow, in theory it's just plastic, but sometimes you can, the resale on them is crazy. So mixed in this box, I'm pretty sure, is different pieces from different Harry Potter Lego sets. And like, I think it's some from I'll drop by later, definitely, when you're on. But I think some of these pieces are from a year or 2 years ago. The Harry Potter Advent Calendar. I think that's what some of these pieces are currently in here for. Right, I never thought of them as an investment either, but some of the ones I have are retired, and I'm sure plenty of the ones you have are retired. Sometimes I just go and I just type in Lego whatever into Amazon to see what comes up, like ones that are older sets that maybe somebody's selling, because you can be a third party seller on Amazon. And the price on them is crazy. And you're just like, man, I never thought of Lego that way. But yeah, I mean, it truly is. Some people buy two sets of like everything that comes out. Essentially, they buy one for themselves to build, and then one to hold on to until they retire and the price goes up on them, and then to resell. Or even just like Lego has upped the price on certain sets lately. Right, Steel. Some people do that with Lego too. They keep one and one to build for themselves and then one to sell later. But like I was saying, Lego had upped the prices on several things lately, so some people even started to sell them then instead of holding out till it was completely retired. And I'm sure it works the same way with Loungefly. Like, just you don't think about the resale value on things. Like, because they retire them or whatever, they stop making that item. Not necessarily that they are a type of company that often retires things they make, but, they just stop making that thing. And then people want it because it's so hard to find. People want it even more. So it's going to sound really weird, but my kids, this isn't the weird part, but my kids wore cloth diapers when they were babies because my daughter had tons of allergies, and it was just better for her to wear cloth. Plus, it's expensive to diaper two children at the same time. So we switched to cloth diapers, and the company that we wound up choosing to use, that's how theirs work. They are limited edition. They only make that color or that design for a limited amount of time, and then they stop. And so people want to collect them because they want to have every color. And I will admit, I got in on that. Uh, it became like an obsession to have like every color or whatever. But my kids had other issues, so they wore diapers for quite some time. But yeah, you don't, just stuff you don't even think about becomes like a collector's item because it's limited edition or whatever kind of thing you want to throw on it. But yeah, like it's crazy, some of the stuff. You only spent like $200 on that set, and now that you look back years later, it's worth a couple $1,000s, and you're like, man, I never thought about it that way. But yeah, I was not prepared for. Yeah, my oldest didn't have any of the issues, so we didn't really think about it, and then or consider cloth. And then, you know, I mean, between him and his sister, it's like 6.5 years or something like that, 6 years. So it was just him, but with my ex-husband. And then we had my daughter, and she's allergic to like everything. We used to joke she was allergic to air, and then we moved to Virginia, and she really was allergic to the air. She was allergic to cherry blossom pollen, which is huge there. But anyway, and her brother is only 20 months younger than her. So between us trying to figure out what would assist in the least amount of rashes for her, and then having a second child to cloth diaper, we're like, nope, we're going to cloth. In this day and age, I know people are going to think it's the weirdest thing ever. You should just use disposables. But it was far easier and cheaper to just use the cloth diapers. And they didn't have pins like they used to back in the day. The kind we used had Velcro. Right? And then I would just soak them and then add like vinegar and stuff to the. I would add vinegar to the water, and then when we were washing them, I would add baking soda to the water in the wash machine. It's so much. And the problem we really wound up with is the chemicals and stuff they put in the diapers to help it absorb all the stuff was wound up being what she was allergic to. So for us, it was on many levels. It was cheaper, it was better for the environment, it was better for her. They do. They make reusable pads that you just kind of do the same thing you do for cloth diapers. I have looked into them several times again for my daughter because she's allergic to everything. So she has to use like the organic, super expensive feminine products. And I have looked into it a couple times about getting cloth pads for her. And you wound up with a little pouch that you put your used ones in, just like your cloth diapers. And then and they're used a lot like in India and stuff because it's a different culture, and it's a different, like, they don't have money to be near the end I did too, and that's why I had a hysterectomy. That was one of the reasons that led them to agreeing for me to get the hysterectomy, because it was so bad. But yes, they, I know I have one. Oh, there it is, down there. But they do make, cloth feminine products. Several different companies do. But for the same reason she wore cloth diapers, I have thought about that being a better product for her. And I mean, they have the period underwear where it soaks them up and holds them in. I don't know if that would be a viable choice for you. Listen, if they don't like what we're talking about, they can just as easily slip out as they slipped in. But yes, that was they are available. Like I said, yeah, like the Thinks and stuff. You can, right? Listen, I'm a woman. I will talk about all these things. Probably a lot of stuff people don't want to hear about. I will have a comment or an opinion about. Okay, so apparently the flies thought we moved out and that the house was theirs because they are like everywhere. I have gone on a fly killing spree, and there's still like a bazillion of them in the house. I'm gonna have to get like fly spray or something. They're just like regular house flies, like the little flies that are everywhere all the time. I know. I know. How dare I talk about things? Well, it might affect some delicate, sensitive ears. Yeah, they're just regular flies. And I even made sure that I like took out the trash and did dishes and whatnot. I think they thought we moved out and they could move in. So we have the handheld Dyson, and I have found that if you put that on max suction, it's hard for them to run. Like they can't fly away with enough strength. So I have been waiting till they pile up, like, land all in a certain area, and then I suck them up. And then I let it go for a while. So I watch them spin around inside the vacuum canister. Because you can just imagine it, can't you? Me standing there chasing the flies through the house with a vacuum. Yes. I listen, I was like whacking all around with the fly swatter all over the house last night. And then my husband was doing something and he was like, "We're breaking the fly swatter. We're going to have to just get something else." And I was like, "Try the vacuum." So we did. We waited till they all landed because they seem to gravitate towards windows too, probably light source, whatever. Um, and then I snuck up there, and so, or he snuck up there first with a vacuum and just started. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Thank God nobody can see us because they would think we're crazy. But I feel like I've killed like at least 3 dozen of them, if not more, probably more. And they're still like everywhere. Yeah, these flies. I mean, they're driving me absolutely crazy. I'm convinced they just figured we'd moved out. Yeah, the fruit flies are super tiny and super annoying. But I have heard that if you put like sugar water will attract them. And I know for ants you put out like slices of onions and the ants it like drives them away or something. I like every insect has got something that is supposed to work for them. But I was like, how is it possible for there to be no flies when we leave and the house to be completely shut and then 5 million flies when we get home? Like, how is that possible? Do they spawn out of nothing? I know when we lived in Florida, we had or Florida. I'm thinking of the other night. When we lived in Virginia, uh, those silverfish insects were horrible there. It took all kinds to get rid of them. They'd be like crawling through any little tiny crack they could find. Yes. Yes, they are horrible. I hate them so much. Yeah, they were bad. I was like, how is it possible? Like, to to get in, they just need like the tiniest crack, crevice, whatever. Yes, they are just gross. All around gross. There is just nothing good. Those are like the most disgusting insects ever. Ugh. Just thinking about them. I think that's like the worst insect we've ever had to deal with. We had It was the silverfish, and there was another. Oh, the pincher bugs were bad there too. And like when we were moving, I was like, they're gonna crawl into the boxes and just try to move with us. I mean, I hate all bugs. I really hate spiders. I have arachnophobia so bad. Oh yeah, I feel bad for you. Termites are horrible. Um, we had a termite inspection done before we bought this house. Um, so, and it's good. So, like, they did it, they did the inspection or whatever. And so, because they said there's no termites, if we get termites, like, the inspection is good for a year. So, say 3 months in, you start having problems with termites, they then take care of it because they said there was none. Like, some kind of warranty comes with the inspection, basically. So that's a plus. Because I know termites can be horrible. You can lose your whole house because you didn't realize you had termites. Yes, I know what you're talking about. I've thought about the same thing. Oh, there's one that will zap them while you're unintended. I would totally stick that in the window. I know what the tennis racket one you're talking about. I've seen it. And yes, I would spend all day just chasing the flies around the house and zapping them. I'd get so much exercise. Yeah, that's how that would work. I would get so much exercise because I would just be like, that's it. I'm not gonna stop till they're gone. And plus, this is exciting. You can watch them zap, zap, zap. Yes, no way I could be Buddhist. I cannot just let them live peacefully. I could let them live peacefully outside, but once you come inside to my house, I'm sorry. You were invited. I have to make you leave. You can leave or you can die. Figure it out. I could, yeah, I couldn't be Buddhist either for the same reason. I have to kill all those little pests. Yeah, like especially spiders. Spiders must go with the most prejudice I can accumulate. Like they must go. Right? Like you could have lived your whole life outside. You had to try to come inside my house. I stay out of your house as much as possible. Why you gotta come in mine? We talk about that all the time because people, yeah, it's warm, it's cozy, it's got air conditioning, it's got the right things. But we joke about that all the time. People complain about like shark attacks or things, happening in the water. And they're like, oh my God, listen, you went into the shark's house. He didn't come up onto land and invade your house. You got in the water with it. It's his home. Yeah, it's got all the air conditioning and heat slash whatever they need at the moment. Yeah. I always say that though. Like, if you just didn't come into my home, you could have kept living your life. Yep, okay. I think these go to something, but what is it? I'll have to look it up. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the other pieces in here are from. You're looking at emotes? Uh, Mr. Harrell, do you know? I think out of us streaming here, as far as I know, you're probably the one that's been streaming the longest. Um, like what a good price for an emote is, or even like what the average cost of good emotes is, or maybe even you have a person you get yours from, because I know you just got new ones with the crown and Santa ones. um Maybe like, or could recommend somebody. I think he might have gotten his off Etsy, but I don't want to say for sure that's where he got them because I can't remember what he said in the stream, but maybe he would know. Let me try to type. It. Oh, okay. I don't need to type. Okay, so not like crazy expensive or anything. So that's not bad. Yes, because hopefully between this stream and my next stream, I will uh switch. So does everybody use Streamlab or Stream Elements, or what does everybody else use? Because I'm using the Twitch one, which isn't bad, but I also don't know how to do like the emotes or like those exclamation point things, like the shout outs and stuff in the Twitch version. So I know a lot of people use Streamlabs or Stream Elements. Because I want to say my husband said he uses, I don't know. Listen, I've asked probably, or whatever. And then I can't remember what he says. Because my brain's like, this is not important information right now. And then brain dumps it. But it is important. Because I need to remember. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, because in theory, you could take clip art and shrink it down. But that's in theory. In practice is a whole nother thing. But I wanted to try to work on like my intro screen, like the waiting to start screen, and then work on like emotes and those, I don't know what you call them when you do the exclamation point and then type whatever in and it causes something to happen. And stuff like that. And like the little tried to commission 5 different artists to work on a collection and they all bailed out. I would be frustrated too. Um, but I'm trying to work on stuff, or like when you turn in though, when you, I think you have to make, yeah, that those commands for tiny tutorial on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if I could do them on the Twitch version of Streamlabs. You know what I'm talking about? Like I just use their, right. I know Steel uses Stream Elements versus Streamlabs, but I didn't know if there's really like a huge difference in them. But I wanted to work on that. And I think you have to make affiliate before you can have those, like where you earn the little things and then can turn them into play videos or make the person drink or eat or whatever. I have Windows, not a Mac. But yeah, I know everything is different when you have Mac versus PC. There's a lot of differences. Yeah, I figured the channel points require affiliate, and I haven't done that yet. But I would like to have like a plan for when that happens. That's all right. It's a laptop, but it's not a MacBook. Um, in all fairness, it's like a 10-year-old Dell that just keeps kicking. Um, we have added, I guess, more RAM, and I changed the battery because they need to be replaced after a while. But it just keeps on kicking. It's a behemoth laptop, like not big as in like clunky, but it had all kinds of stuff when I bought it, all kinds of fancy stuff. So it just keeps on kicking, so I'm not going to complain about it. Because I hate getting a new laptop and then you have to change over everything and redo everything and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm always happy to, if I can make what I have continue to work. But yeah, so I want to get stuff, like some of the stuff I said, I know you can't do until you have affiliate, but I hope to have a plan in place. That way, when I do have it, I can make it easier on myself. Yeah. Uh yeah, I know a lot of the, like when they go for like even digital art, you need a pretty good one. And or they suggest specific ones. Some colleges want you to buy a specific one. for that class. And if you got to spend all the money on it, you might as well put other stuff on it too. Get the most use out of it you can. Let's see. I'm trying to see who's on. Let's see. Sorry. Does anybody have like a person that they would like to do it? If not, the Yellow Witch is on, but she's playing video games. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. Or the local brick shop is on. Yeah, I'm closing in on 2 months now. I'm really close to 2 months, but I only have like 7 people to go. So that's so I'm not crazy far off. And then I think it's a lot like other things. Like when the closer you get, it seems like the longer it takes. But Kaz helped a lot. You have a suggestion? Okay, I'm more than welcome to suggestions. Oh, that's not what I want. And I thank you every time, Kaz. From the bottom of my heart, I can't thank you enough. Okay, so let me get into my. Hit the right button. Let's see. Type in 3-6 bricks. Oh, okay. Ooh, he's doing a coral reef, it looked like. So I will be back later this week doing parts 1 and 2 on respective days. The big Land Rover vehicle. So be sure to check me out later this week. And thank you, everyone, for helping, me keep my thing up, my viewership up, and coming and chatting and hanging out with me and watching me build and sort. Thank you so much and have a great day.